Hi guys, it's Claire's and welcome to another video tutorial with me. If you're new to my channel, I do a lot of watercolor videos of the floral nature. But this week, or for this month of August, we are going to be dabbling with simple, bright and pretty, yet loose watercolor scenic views. This is something that I did on our Sunday Live. So if you're interested in checking this out, you should definitely check the recent videos I have done under live and you can catch this. Today we are going to do a simplistic version of some beautiful blending skies and clouds with some greenery off in the distance. So hope you guys are excited. I am going to be using my Etchr sketchbook hot press paper here, and what I am going to do is just going to take some of this amazing masking washi tape, masking tape that I got from Artiste, I believe it's called. The name was right here. Yeah, Artiste. And I'm going to line up so I have a nice white border, and then we will start painting. So let me just hop to this really quickly. So if you have some masking tape too, try that, and then join me back for our painting. Alright, so I have taped my portion off here, so we're going to be painting right in here so I can get that nice white background when I'm done. And for colors, we are going to be using some of my leftover colors that I had from Sunday from this painting right here. So I believe these are sea blue and blue from the Paul Rubens collection that I got. So you guys can kind of, like when we put the color down, you can see how that works out in case you have different colors. I'm also going to be using, I'm combining this leftover blue that I have with some of the colors from my St. Petersburg White Nights. We're going to be using the green, Mars Brown, and Umber. This is Mars Brown, and this right here is Umber. So like a combination of this for the greenery. Just a tad bit, because again, we are minimalistic, loose painting today, scenic views. For brushes, we are going to be using, I'm going to use this nice flat brush right here by Zenart, and I'm going to be using a number 10 just in case. I'm just going to keep this handy. And then finally for details, the number 2 Escoda. Alright, so I think we are ready to begin. I have my water ready, I have paper towel handy on the side, so we are good to go. So the first thing I want to do is pretty much just dampen up this area right here so we get some nice skies. I think I'm going to go up to about here and give it a little bit of white space, and then leave the rest to kind of add some of our greens and blend those in. Alright, so starting off, we're going to take some of the, I'll use the 10 actually, this works out well, to get some water and reactivate the blues that we have going on here. If you want to have more of a grayish sky, I would recommend doing like a nice Payne's gray perhaps. Replace the blue with a Payne's gray. It is absolutely up to you. But that's what those blues look like if you mix the ones that I'm going to be using right now. So if you want something lighter, more muted, I would try Payne's gray. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead, take my flat lay brush, and I'm just going to actually leave this on the side here so you can see better. And we'll get a very muted version of this color. So more water, less color. And then we're going to lay this down onto the paper in loose strokes. Trying to leave some white space as well. And this way it doesn't look too... I'm actually seeing some green here. Maybe I didn't wash the brush off properly, so I'm just going to do that really quickly. Always make sure your brushes are washed properly unless you have previously painted in haste and kind of put your stuff away, which happens. Alright, so now that I have this, I'm going to go ahead and add some nice strokes to get some nice skies happening. And I can see that there's like a lot of green happening, but that's okay. Maybe we can use it to our advantage and make it seem like a reflection of the greens into the sky. So I'm just going to dampen this area really quickly, and using some areas with just like the water, plain water, and then kind of dipping some of the blues to kind of get this effect here, and just going in and adding that in into little sweeps, sweeping strokes that I like to call them. But the point is to just dampen these areas so we've got a nice damp area, and then we can even use the number 10 brush to get some color and just swish that around. And I will show you that just as soon as I've dampened this area properly. Perfect. Now I'm going to go ahead with the number 10. I'm going to get some of this blue right here. And I'm just going to go ahead and add areas around here to just kind of allow it to look like it's dark to light and like a nice cloudy day perhaps. Getting some more of the blue and just adding sweeps of it here and there in like these organic shapes to kind of give it that nice sky feel. And now once we are satisfied with what we've done, just make sure that your areas are nice and smoothened out almost, so that you're not getting rough edges. So I'm just taking water and just smoothing out the rest of the blues here. That's what I'm doing. You can take like a different type of blue and just kind of add that in to kind of give it that whole like shadowy effect too. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just taking like another kind of blue and just like underlining it in certain areas. Maybe even in the corners to give it a darker hue. And this is the perfect timing because everything is still damp. So now is the time to kind of get your nice flare-ups of color, as I like to call it, and get a nice effect. Just move that there so you can see better. And I think this is good for now. I'm not going to add anything else besides maybe just adding some additional darker hues to the top and just kind of trying to smoothen these bits out here. But I like we've got these nice white spaces happening, and just taking water, I'm just smoothing this bit out, pushing these colors back in so they don't pool off to the side here. Probably should have just taken the sheet off and painted it on flat surface instead of painting it doing this. Alright, so now we are ready to move on to the second half while this dries properly. Okay, so now for this part, we're going to take a slightly different approach. I'm going to use my number 10, and we are going to give it a wash of just water. And then we're going to go in with some of the green, which I have right here. But I'm going to mix this green in with some of my umber. And if I can just get a good enough amount of it here, perfect. And then get some of that green back again. And so I've got a green that kind of looks like this, okay? And now we are going to go ahead and add some strokes on here so we can get that nice flare up of color. And so let's just go ahead and start from the bottom and getting more color to kind of get a nice darker hue at the bottom, and then kind of going in as we kind of sweep up and continuing on by adding some of the green Just like that. Perfect. Now I'm going to go ahead and get this brush, and I'm just going to sweep it in, and I want the green to be almost like a mist going into the blue at the top. And even go in and get some more of the green, sorry, the umber. And I'm just going to add more of this happening in these areas here, because what I want to show is almost like a differentiation in greenery or scenery. And I'm just going to add these little swoops of color so that I can reflect that or show that in my painting. So you can kind of show hills or valleys or little areas that are kind of overlapping. And again, very loosely, you're not kind of giving it too much detail, but you can get this nice indication of like, maybe this area is slightly different from this area here. And I'm going to add darker hues just at the bottom. And here. And perfect. So I'm going to let these dry. And now what we want to do is go with this little guy here. And we are going to start creating some little trees off in the background. So I'm mixing some of the Mars brown with the green to get this hue right here. And I'm going to start by creating tiny little, oh sorry, I should have been using my number 2. Use the number 2, guys. While this is still damp, I'm just kind of going ahead and creating these little trees. And I want to get that nice flaring effect happening. So I'm kind of starting off really like tall and then going short. Because again, I want to keep this simple for you guys to try, especially if you've never tried something like this before. We're going to keep this a very simplistic visual or scenic view for you to try for your first time. I'm getting some of that brown, and I'm just going to add this brown just in certain areas here to kind of show like light, shadow, to give you that shadowy effect. Just a couple of areas here and there. And then we'll just even do some over here. And again, these can be like so tiny, so finely detailed, like you can even dip the tip of your brush in water and just kind of keep doing this little dabbing effect here. And let's just make this one go slightly taller so we can get an effect of like there's tall trees and then it's kind of tapering off at the edge. All right, and then it gives us that nice flare of color because some of this area here is still damp. And we're just going to kind of go off along this area here. All right, perfect. There we go, guys. This is it. We're not going to do anything else more unless you want to add some tiny little details on the forefront. But I really don't think it's really needed. I just wanted to give you guys a very loosey first try at scenic view. Some great ideas here in blending and kind of giving you that nice loose effect for a farmland or farm view. So go ahead and try it. Try the little dabbing effect. It's one of my personal favorites. And tag me on Instagram and show me what you guys come up with. I would love to see what you guys are doing, especially because, you know, this is kind of reminding me of a Van Gogh, Paul Gauguin kind of style. Mind you, not as clear or smooth at the top, but just the trees itself. So if you like videos like this, stay tuned. We're going to be doing stuff like this all month and progressing with our skills for scenic views. And Just note, I am not a pro for scenic stuff. I am learning along with you, and most of my videos are about florals. So if you like learning with me and florals, hit that subscribe, hit the like button, and let's go on this journey together. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. We'll chat soon. Bye.